Hi everyone, my name's Christine and I'm one of the founders and admins from PSSM and MIM Awareness. If you happen to have stumbled across this video and you're wondering what on earth PSSM and MFM is, then head over to our website by clicking the link in the description. In today's video, we will be explaining all about the PSSM symptom tying up. We are going to be explaining what tying up is and what causes it, the symptoms to look out for when a horse is about to tie up, what can trigger a tie up, along with showing you video examples of different PSSM horses tying up. Let's get started. So what is tying up? Tying up, also known as Monday morning disease, azoturia or exertional rhabdomyolysis, is when a horse experiences uncontrollable and painful muscle contractions or spasms. During a tying up episode, a horse experiences muscle damage. Tying up is the equivalent to when humans experience severe muscle cramps, and we all know how painful that is. How long have horses been tying up? Tying up has been affecting horses as early as 1840. When horses were working animals, put in ploughs and carts, they would be worked all week, then given the Sunday off. The horses would be left in stables all day on Sunday and fed lots of grains and sweet feed. But come Monday morning, when it's time for them to work again, the horses couldn't move as they're completely frozen up, hence the terminology Monday morning disease. People knew that tying up existed, but they didn't know what caused it or how to treat it. They were dealing with an invisible enemy. What causes a horse to tie up? Tying up is caused by abnormal alterations in the makeup of muscles. PSSM causes abnormal alterations because it's a genetic mutation, a flaw in what makes up the horse. Just like an uninvited guest that ruins a party, that gene mutation isn't meant to be there and the muscle cannot function normally like it should. What are the symptoms of a horse who is tying up? When a horse is starting to tie up, they will: Number 1, stiffen up. The horse will walk robotic behind with a shorter, locked stride, almost like they are shuffling. Number 2, looking tucked up. The horse will resemble a tucked up appearance. Their muscles will look sucked up to their body. Number 3, get muscle twitches. The horse may get uncontrollable muscle twitches, quivers or shakes. Number 4, reluctance to move. The horse may become reluctant to move or even walk. Number 5, camping out. The horse may stand camped out. Even if the horse is a mare, they will stand like a gelding going to pee. Number 6, freeze up. The horse's muscles will begin to get tighter and tighter, like a pulled elastic band, especially if they are moving. If a tie-up is severe enough, the horse's muscles could lock completely, leaving them unable to move and immobile. But not all PSSM horses who tie up freeze up. Some horses experiencing a tie-up are still able to move. Number 7, colic or laminitis-like symptoms. Tying up is extremely painful for the horse. They will often have an elevated heart rate, paw the ground, try to lay down, look to their stomach, or even roll. Horses who tie up are more often than not misdiagnosed with colic or even laminitis, as the symptoms are very similar. Let's look at some examples of this. Here we have Diva, an Irish draft cross cob mare who has PSSM 2. If we look at this video of Diva here, we can see she is experiencing a tying up episode. She is very reluctant to walk, dragging behind on the lead rein and taking tiny, short, stilted steps, almost like she is tiptoeing. As we get further on into the video, we can then see Diva plant herself, not wanting to move at all, as the walking is causing her pain. In a later video here, as the tie-up progresses, we can now see Diva is barely able to move at all. She looks almost chronically lame behind, as her hind end has become extremely tight, like a stretched elastic band, rendering her barely able to move. Let's move on to our next video. Here we have a Thoroughbred gelding with PSSM 2. We can see this gelding as he walks out the stable that he is experiencing a very severe tie-up. He can barely move, almost like he doesn't have correct control of his hind end as it starts to seize up. As we move to a later video, we can see this gelding has become extremely distressed. He's pawing, breathing heavily and sweating profusely. We can see the steam coming off of him. And in a later video, we can see this gelding completely seize up. He doesn't want to move at all before camping out, which is the action of standing to pee but not going. It's thought the stance of camping out helps provide a bit of relief during a tie-up. In this case, the vet was called to this gelding, but the vet thought it was colic, making the owner walk him, which made the tie-up worse. Next we have Cody, a traditional gypsy cob with PSSM 1. Cody is experiencing a tie-up. If we watch Cody, we can see he is walking stilted behind, almost robotic, with a short, choppy stride before his hind end has tightened. In later videos, we can see him in the stable, looking at his stomach and pouring to roll. Can you see how similar a tie-up looks to colic? Let's look at another example of this. Here we have Peaches, a New Forest cross mare who has PSSM 1. Peaches is experiencing a tie-up. We can see her pouring, looking to her flank and looking to roll, just like Cody in the previous video. In a later video, we can see Peaches laying down and we can see she's extremely uncomfortable. She's groaning, looking to her stomach, the whites of her eyes are showing, and we can see that Peaches is in clear distress. Now we have looked at some examples. What can trigger tying up in a PSSM horse? Number 1, undiagnosed PSSM. Number 2, unmanaged PSSM. Number 3, a vitamin E or selenium deficiency. Number 4, feeding too much sugar and starch. Number 5, feeding too much protein which can turn into sugar if it's not needed. Number 6, exercise intolerance. This can be when ridden or running around a field and it doesn't need to be strenuous. Number 7, after a period of rest, like being stabled for a very long time or travelling in a horse box for a long distance. Number 8, stress and excitability. Number 9, wet, cold and windy weather conditions. And that concludes our video on the PSSM symptom tying up. We hope you found this video helpful and that you now have more of an understanding of what tying up is and what it looks like. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe, join our Facebook group, follow us on Instagram and check out our website for all things PSSM, MFM and RER. Thank you for watching.